Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This video is in collaboration with the Gouache Gals. There are a bunch of folks who wanted to work with gouache. We did one collab before and we're doing one now. It's hosted by Ken Sierra DIY and has all these other lovely people in it. I'll leave the link in the description for that below. I am painting Hermione with gouache today. If you watched my last video, I painted Harry with gouache. As you can see on the left, he's taped off with a protective sheet and some painter's tape, and I thought I would work on Hermione next. So I am using Reeves brand gouache. It's just a cheap gouache from Michael's, but you can use whatever you have. And I drew this out first just because when you're drawing on camera, it's really hard to see and you can't really see it. And I thought more of the magic really happened when you're painting. So I am just showing you the painting portion of my Hermione gouache painting here. If you enjoy Harry Potter, then you might want to check out my last video, which was painting Harry. As I said, my boyfriend and I were watching all the Harry Potters at the time, and it inspired me to want to paint little character cards or almost like trading cards for them. They're a little bigger than what maybe a trading card would be, but I thought it would be a great idea. So that's what I'm doing here. The name is going to go on the bottom there where you see that kind of manila-y color. Now, I looked up some cartoon versions of the characters and decided to draw those, but I kind of I adjusted them to make them my own, so they are not an exact replica of anything you might see online. I've got my cat kind of rolled on the back here, her cat, and some fun stars shooting out of her wand, so this is an original composition here. But I did get the original idea of what the cartoon version of what Hermione looks like from the internet, just so that we're all aware. If you do enjoy it, like I said, I will have, or did I say it? I don't know, but I'll leave Harry linked down below, or you can check out my last video there. I've got 2 more spaces left as I have my watercolor paper broken off into 4 spaces divided by some painter's tape. I evenly spaced it so that when they're all cut up, they will all have a 1/2 inch border, but just plain white watercolor border around them. Now, before I started gouache painting, I just started, it's very recent for me, and part of the inspiration was doing these gouache collabs, and so when I did my research, I found that watercolor paper would work the best because it's going to absorb it. Now, I've been getting some questions on and offline about what gouache is, and gouache is a paint medium, and it's its own type of paint medium, but it is kind of like a watercolor and an acrylic. It's like pigment, water, and some sort of adhesive mixed together. I've obviously got mine pre-mixed in tubes that I squeeze onto my little palette here, and then you just add a little water to activate it and paint with that. It's a little more opaque than just regular watercolors, which is kind of nice, and it's really buildable. And it's got more, because of that opaqueness, it's got a little bit more of an acrylic type of feel to it. So in one of the videos I was watching that inspired me to want to work on characters, I learned that doing layers can be a good thing. You can start light and go darker. So you may see me do a few layers of a few different pieces as we go on with our painting here. There are some areas too that I may layer and they may not turn out as well. I tried a few different things with Hermione here. I really liked my stars in the background, but once I add in everything, it feels like it's not enough. And I try going in with gouache paint and it takes several layers, when now I realize, just like in my Harry painting, that I should have left a little bit of the white of the paper to create more of a stark difference in the paint colors. We are going to be giving away a mini Himi gouache set for a winner, and I will explain how to enter that in just a few minutes here, but I thought I would let you all enjoy a little bit of painting first, and then I'll tell you about the rules and how to enter and show you a pic of what this prize will look like if you are interested in practicing with gouache.
All right, so let's talk about the giveaway. So, in order to enter into the giveaway, you're going to have to answer a question on each person's video in the playlist. Everybody's question will be different, or at least should be. So, make sure you listen out for my question in this video here. In the meantime, I just wanted to show you what the prize will look like. So this is what the set looks like that you are entering to win. I actually have been wanting to try one of these out. So this one has like, you uncap all of them and they're nice and jelly, and then you just add a little bit of water to use them. And it comes with those brushes too, which is really neat. It's actually on my birthday wish list on Amazon, which I will also leave linked down below. I will be turning 30 on June 18th, which is right around the corner here. So feel free to enter the giveaway. But I also will have my birthday wish list linked down below if that's of interest. So I'm working on some kind of smoky, like streamer type of things around the stars coming out of Hermione's wand. You'll notice throughout this video that I work on those a lot. And like I said earlier, it's because the white gouache paint isn't stark enough to really help it show. And so, like I said earlier, I should have let some of the background of the white paper show like I did in Harry's. But, you know, lesson learned. We figure it out along the way. And so I'm not super torn up about it. By the way, I am doing all of this in double time, so what you're seeing here is the whole video is just sped up by 2, so it actually took me twice as long as you're seeing here for me to create this painting. And so just keep that in mind, which is really interesting because some parts it looks like I'm painting really slow, which means in real life I was painting even slower than that. As you can see here, I'm doing some more layering of colors like I talked about a little bit earlier. And it really helps kind of just building the depth of some of those colors. And I did that in my last video as well. I will be doing 2 more characters. I've started the 3rd one when this video goes live. I haven't decided who I'm going to do for my 4th Harry Potter character, so we shall see. All right, my friends, it is time for the mystery question to enter the giveaway, and my question is, which Harry Potter character is your favorite and why? And if you've never seen Harry Potter, that's totally okay. Just let me know in the comments, or you can just say, you know, Harry or Hermione and say, well, I haven't actually seen it, but that's totally fine. Anyways, all you have to do is answer that question down in the comments below, and then you're entered into the giveaway. And Sarah will probably announce it on her page, I presume, or we will all announce it, but I think she'll probably get the final say. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
But just keep posted for that. So as you can see here, I'm doing another layer of black onto Hermione's robe or cloak, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I learned that doing it in layers tends to work really well because you're going from light to dark and it adds more opaqueness to the painting itself. Plus, if you do like a really light layer and then you decide, maybe I should switch up the color a little bit, it's a little helpful for that. However, this one is obviously just going to stay black because that's what it originally looks like. I do have a few things to admit here. I went through several phases with Hermione's skin color and her hair and kept playing with it until I found a happy medium. So you'll probably see me work on that a few times here, but her skin was a more peachy color than Harry's, and I was trying to keep it about the same color. And by peachy, I don't mean like the same color as Harry's, which is what I just said. I mean, it literally looks like more orangey, kind of, or almost like a bad foundation. So that kind of bothered me. So, anyways, I think I went over her face twice, and whatever, ended up fine. In terms of her hair, I just struggled with like it was too yellowy, then it was too orangish, and it looked too much like her cat's, and then it was too brownish. And so I do end up really liking the color I finally went to in the end. That is kind of more of a brownish color. I think when I was looking at the cartoon version of her, they had her in more of a blonde color, but it just didn't feel right. So I actually really like the color it ends up being. And I also struggled with like, do I try to make curls in there? So at some point I tried adding like little swirls and stuff, and I didn't really like that. So Hermione, I think, took me maybe a little bit longer than Harry did. I don't remember how long the video is, but it was a process. It definitely took time to be happy with some of the aspects of her that I didn't struggle with as much with Harry. So these kind of like small stocky characters, I guess, are called chibi, if that's right. Chibi. I just learned about them, but I think they're really cute how they're like kind of round and squishy. Almost looks like a little mini squishmallow drawing in my opinion. But I really like it and how sincere their little eyes look and everything. I do end up adding blush to her a little bit later because it just felt like she was missing something, and I really liked adding that as well. Like I said, these are original compositions, but I did look at some reference photos for the image of the cartoons themselves. As you can see, I'm putzing with her wand. Well, right here I'm making the cool little streaks in her wand, but in a second here I'm going to putz some more with those dang streaks in the background. Oh, those gave me so much pain to keep going over and over again, but oh well, it ends up really nice in the end, and I learned a lesson from it, and I think that's really important too. Here I am using a felt tip pen with black ink, and I'm writing her name, Hermione Granger. I said this in my last video, but in case you didn't see it, I looked at the Harry Potter like calligraphy letters online and then just made my own like stick version of that. I just felt like it would be a little bit easier, and it kind of goes with the quirkiness of the characters. I felt like those really thick letters might have been a little overbearing, so I kind of made my own little stick version or thin version of that, and I really like how it turned out. I, as you can see, practiced it first on just a scrap piece of paper, which I'm glad I did, because as you can see here as well, I didn't really like how I originally made my G, and so it really helped to be able to practice that first and then make the final copy on the card itself. In my final steps here, I'm using that same felt tip pen and just outlining everything in this little painting or drawing or illustration, whatever you want to consider it. And this really helps make everything pop to have that nice hard outline. And I believe I go in with maybe like a gray marker. We'll find out in a second. Oh yeah, there it is. To outline some of that magic in the background, and that really helped emphasize it too. So I'm glad I made that move to work on that there after so much trouble that I went through to try to get that to pop. So once it's all outlined, it's just about done. Oh, I haven't added her little cheeks yet. Also, you can see here the huge difference between her skin tone and Harry's, how she's like literally peachy, orangish, bad foundation color, but oh well, we'll survive, I think. I'm used to it now, but now that I'm watching the video, I'm like, oh yeah, it looks so weird. So I'm just mixing a little bit of a light peachy pink color and adding some little cheeks here. And I think they added such a nice little finishing touch on our Hermione. Now let's take a look at the final result. Here she is, nice and done. This is kind of blurry, oops, oh well. You get the point, but I really love how she turned out, and I'm working on Ron next, so that should be exciting. And I hope you enjoyed this gouache video as well as all the other ones in the playlist. Make sure you answer all of the questions in all of the videos to be able to enter into the giveaway, and I'll leave that information for you below. See you all next time. Bye.